All right, Uncivilized Vitality, and this is the Simple Sling instruction video. So if you bought one of our do-it-yourself sling kits, because the knots weren't pre-tied, you'll see that it came with one of these. I'll try to do that so the camera doesn't pick it up. Little QR code, Uncivilized Simple Sling instructions, and here they are. So Tori will zoom in and we'll show you. So this would be to put your own sling together, or maybe you bought a pre-tied one that came apart. So you'll need is 2 pieces of paracord. I've got 2 different colors in this kit so you can see how they're tied. And it'll come with a stiffer piece of leather, that's your finger holster, and these 2 are going to be the basket. And they're going to lie in alternating fashion. So if the first piece is underneath the second piece, that bottom one comes over top of the second piece for the other knot, so you get this little pouch made, kind of a boat style sling. And you only need to know one knot. You need to know the double overhand knot. So this is how it's going to work. We'll start with this black piece, and I'm going to thread this up through one of the pouch straps and then up through the other pouch strap. Slide those down together. And now what I'm going to do is run this tag end out along the standing end, and then moving away from me, right? So this is a little backwards for you watching. You move around, you're going to go around that standing end once, go around that standing end twice, and then you'll have this little X right here. You take the tag end and you cross under that X. So you've made basically a double overhand knot around the standing end, and you just pull that tight. So you've closed that. Now it's also sometimes called a hunter's noose or a scaffold knot, even though that's slightly different with 3 throws. But you slide that up so those pouches are caught together on that side. Now we do the same thing on the other side with the other string, only this time we're going to unstack and flip those pouches. So the one on the bottom will now be on the top. Right, same thing, run the string up through both. And then moving away from me, I go over the standing end once, over the standing end twice, and itself. So I've wrapped that around twice. I go under that little X. And you can look up double overhand knot. You can look up fisherman's bend. You can look up scaffolding knot or hunter's noose. They're all essentially the same. And then I slide that down to tighten it up to the leather again. And now I've made the pouch for my sling. And now we're going to make the anchor side. Then we're going to use this other piece of leather. So this one's a bit big. You could put even 2 fingers in this or 1. So what you're going to do is you'll have a smooth side and a rough side. You're going to run your thread, your paracord down through the top and over and back up through the other hole. That's just going to make this little bend where your finger will sit through, and it'll pull tight and make a little anchor point for you. So after you've run through there, okay, you're going to do that same thing. You're going to make an overhand loop, tuck the tag end through to make a basic overhand knot, and then tuck that tag end through again to make a double overhand knot, and then pull that shut. Because this is a simple noose, we're just using a double overhand. You could use a figure 8, you could use an Ashley stopper knot, you can make a fancy button knot, any kind of stopper knot you want. And now I pull that tight, and what happens is I have the knot toward my ring and pinky finger. I slide my middle finger under that leather strap and pull the string, and it keeps that anchored to my hand on that leather. Then I'm going to run the sling out so that the pouch is even at the end, and right where my thumb and forefinger are pinching with that middle finger anchored pulled tight, I'm going to make the same thing here, the double overhand knot. I come through making an overhand, tuck that tag end up through again, pull it tight, and before you tighten it down too much, grip that in your thumb and index finger. Make sure they're about the same length for a nice even throw. They're about right. I could slide that up a little bit more so I can loosen my knot up a little bit and just take up a little bit of slack. Slide that knot toward the end a bit. Yep, so now it's just right, right? So now I can get throwing. And then this end here, after you tighten that hold release knot, you can cut this and fray the end, or you can leave that tail. Should have been prepared, but let's just cut that end off there a little bit. And then we will use the end of my knife and just sort of fray that paracord out a little bit. So I've got a nice cracker or a fall on the end, just a little tuft. And then you can hold on that as well. So knot toward my ring finger, tighten that anchor down around my finger so it's nice and comfortable. And then the released cord gets held between my thumb and index finger on that frayed end with the knot. My ammo goes in that pouch, and then I proceed to swing it around and throw it just like you would any other sling. I'll put some footage in here explaining how to use the sling, but this was just how to make it. So hope you enjoy that. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you can check out the rest of our stuff. And that's it. Oh, a couple of sling rocks right there. That one might be a little too small. Here's one. Hopefully this can still hear me. Oh, I had the microphone on. So, do a couple throws down here. If the camera see me, one of those big rocks I just picked up, put that right in the split pouch. And there are several different ways to throw a sling. Let me adjust this release cord a little bit, this release tab. I'm just going to use a real basic way, just around the head once, and then we're just going to release the sling. All right, first one was kind of sloppy, right into the river. Load this next stone up. And we'll try it underhand this time. Whoa, that one went way over. Yeah, that one made it almost across the river. I wonder if you could see that. I should probably get out of the way. All right, it's just the first time using my new pan sling. This takes a little bit of getting used to, like any new sling. It's got a satisfying snap when it comes around. As a kid, we used to make slings out of yarn and leather, or leather piece of cord and old pouches, and fling crab apples at each other. So the sling can be good. Like I said, it is a toy. Like